Welcome back to the channel. It's New Comic Day, and it was a bit of a smaller week, but some pretty good books. Now, quick reminder before we get into the video, at 500 subscribers I am giving away some awesome books, including a sweet John Romita signature on that Ultimate Spider-Man 100. Now, all you gotta do is leave a comment, so if you see a book that you like that you're also reading, or a book that you don't see and you're reading, you want to tell me about it, that's all you got to do. Leave a comment and you're automatically entered into the giveaway. More details in the link in the description. Full video explaining everything. But let's go ahead and hop into today's video. So I only got one independent book today. Pretty solid one though. I think this is cover C of Geiger. And so this is number 2. Pretty solid book. As you can see here, this is the Glowing Man is what they call him, and his two-headed dog, which is pretty rad. It's a fun book so far. It's kind of moving at a slower pace as far as like, leading in and building the characters, but I feel like, I don't know, I like the writing. I feel like we're going to be getting into some really good stuff here pretty soon. Glowing Man's really cool. He's just a radioactive skeleton man, so, this is really strong. And there's these giant irradiated scorpions and spiders and all kinds of insects and other things that he's just tearing through, and it's a good time. But at the heart of the story, it's about a man protecting his family. So, moving on, we have a couple of Star Wars books. We have The High Republic, number 5, and I feel like this might be kind of the best one so far in the High Republic series. I've been enjoying High Republic Adventures quite a bit more than High Republic. I feel like High Republic's just been moving kind of slow. Not that it's bad, it just hasn't really had a good kick to it yet. And there were some interesting things that happened in this issue, and I am also, speculating a little bit here. I know that the cover 7, and this is 5, so we have 2 more issues. Cover 7 has a red lightsaber. You don't see who's holding it or anything. You just see what's her name, Reeves, Trennis or something like that. I can't remember. These weird Star Wars names confuse me. I just read the book like an hour ago. But anyway, she's blocking the saber, and you see this just the saber, a little bit of it on the cover. So I feel like there's a Sith coming, or some kind of baddie. And I am really excited for that. I feel like we're leading into it. Then we got our, first a War of the Bounty Hunters tie-in. And this is just our regular Star Wars. What number is this? Number 13. And this is kind of following Luke, Chewbacca, 3PO, and R2. And, everybody's kind of on the search for Han Solo. So they get a little bit of news that they might know where Boba Fett is, and obviously everyone knows Boba Fett has Han Solo. So they're like, okay, we'll go investigate that, and that's what happens in this issue. Pretty fun. It's not the end of this story. There is more of it, I would assume anyway. I don't think it says. Yeah. So it'll continue in the next Star Wars issue. So I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for War of the Bounty Hunters in general. It's kind of, obviously we know what happens. It's kind of a weird way to do a story, and that's how Star Wars is in general. When you start going back in time and doing these things, it's like, well, we know that Boba does get the delivery off to Jabba, but it's kind of like, let's see that adventure and see how many times Han has traded hands, basically. And then moving on to our Marvel books. I'm going to start here with Silk, number, 3? Yeah, number 3 on Silk. I've been enjoying this series. There's a big demon cat, and there is a cool character that you're introduced in the first issue, and you get to learn a little bit more about her in this one. So there was how they like to do a big reveal on the very, very last panel. So there's something pretty cool. It involves a character that many people might not know, but I knew who it was, so I was like, oh, that's neat that they, decided to use that character. if you don't know the character, then maybe it won't be as impactful for you. But I thought it was a pretty neat little issue. And then moving on to Black Cat. What is this? Number 6. So I really like this writer. I've mentioned it before. Jed MacKay, working on Black Cat, we'll finish Taskmaster. There's something else that he wrote that I really enjoyed, and I can't remember it now. But these 2 series have been super awesome. I really like Taskmaster, really like Black Cat. It's going solid. Something really cool happens in this issue as well. It's leading off well, technically, I guess it happened kind of in last issue, but you get to see more of it, I guess, in this issue. And yeah, it's definitely setting up for future things, but there's a big thing that happens in this issue. It's pretty cool. And then 2 more books left. So I picked up, who knows what cover this is, but it has Thor on it. So there's a bunch of covers. This is Heroes Reborn number 2, and there was a bunch of different variant covers, and I'm doing good. I didn't pick up any variant covers this week. Y'all should be proud of me. But I picked up this one because it had Thor on it. There's some other issues, whatever. And slight spoiler, Thor's not even... nose is stuffy. I don't know if he's in a single panel. Does not revolve around Thor. Bit of a misguided cover here. Now, granted, it was like cover D or something. Yeah, no, it's like cover H, actually. But still, I really enjoy this cover. If I went back in time, I wouldn't have picked a different cover because I gotta get my boy Thor. Cool book, though. This one spends a lot of time with Hyperion, and while the first one spent a lot of time with Blade and kind of showing like, oh, this, reality is different, it's kind of showing you like his perspective and how he is doing what he can to take care of the world. And I'm not sure exactly where it's going to lead, but it kind of feels like he's not that, maybe he doesn't make that good of calls and decisions. So there's certain things about this world that aren't great, but seem like they're going fine, because it seems like he's doing his job, and not like he's purposely not doing his job. He's just not as good. In the first book, it's like Steve Rogers was never found. He was just frozen in ice, and he never came back. And so so Hyperion kind of filled that void, I guess. And he's just not doing as good as Steve has done. Is kind of where it feels like it's going. But I'm curious. It could go other directions. It's not necessarily definitively how that is going to go. But I am curious. I am curious to see what they end up doing with it. And the last book I picked up this week was another Heroes Reborn. Actually, there was another Heroes Reborn title that I'm realizing I didn't pick up. So I'll have to go back and grab that one. It's a Peter Parker, the Amazing, or like the Spectacular June Bug, or something along the lines of that. I remember seeing it, but I guess I didn't grab it. But anyway, the last one I picked up, what is this one called? Hyperion and the Imperial Guard. And so this is kind of a flashback of, I almost said Imperial, of Hyperion in his younger days, and kind of right on the ending of his training with the Imperial Guard. And I feel like this is a book better read after Heroes Reborn 2, like the main title. Because there are some reoccurring characters from this, or from number 2 into this. I don't know if this is a one shot or not. I assume it's a one shot. I don't think it has anywhere to go after this. But I feel like it makes a bit more of an impact. I mean, you could probably read in whichever order. It doesn't really matter. But pretty fun little, again, going on the backstory a bit of Hyperion in this universe. And I don't know if I don't think they're trying to make him out to be a bad guy in any kind of way. I just think he's, like I said, just maybe not as good at making the big decisions as like Steve Rogers would be. And there's other differences in the universe as well. I don't think it all revolves around Steve Rogers, but I think that is kind of like the main difference between... I don't even know if it's not like necessarily a different universe, because Blade is here, and I feel like some characters are starting to remember. It's hard to say. I'm curious. I don't know what caused any of this. I don't think they're in different universes, but maybe they are. I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but I feel like it's an appropriate amount of confusing. It's where the writer wants you to be, and it's not like none of this makes sense. It's, they're letting you get little tidbits of knowledge, in a regulated flow, and we'll get more answers later. But so far, Heroes Reborn, pretty cool. I like the idea of it. I like the little twist on familiar character, taking characters we know and changing them, and taking a little moment in their life and be like, yeah, but it happened this way. So it's kind of like a bunch of what ifs all combined into one. So pretty cool. I have enjoyed it so far. That's what I'm reading this week, but as always, I would love to know what you are reading. Are there cool titles that I didn't pick up? Like maybe that Peter Parker title. I know he's not Spider-Man. He appears in Heroes Reborn 2? Yeah. He appears in that. And so from that, at least from what I could tell, it didn't seem like he had any powers. He was just a reporter, I think. So yeah, I'll have to go back and read that other one, like I said. But are there any other titles I should have picked up this week? Possibly there are. I feel like there was a decent amount of titles that came out this week, but I had a pretty small list of books. So let me know. As always, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you again Friday, I think. Yeah.